Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. If you're traveling this holiday season, and many of us will be, your home is going to be filled with either boxes that are just waiting to be delivered at Christmas time or presents that have been delivered, and you want to make sure that all of that stuff is protected. And the best way to do that, brand new security system, even with a doorbell camera from Safety Systems. Visit them online or call them this week. VFL JJ Surlis and his team can help with security systems, home automation, or home theaters. Safety Systems. All right. We gave our extremely early projections for the 2024 season last week, and kind of silly with 175 guys in the portal just in the SEC. So we reserve the right to change our picks. But I got a couple of emails, more than a couple. People didn't like what I said last week, and so people were asking me, will you change your prediction? It really doesn't matter what I predict. I don't have any power over it. I wish I did, because the Patriots wouldn't be 3-10 right now if I could control it. But most of us said 8-9 wins. I said 8 or 7. You said 8, 9, or 10. Let's take the 8-9 out. Let's make it more difficult here. And I want to know why we're saying this as well. So give me your answer and why. Tennessee 2024, closer to 7 wins or closer to 10 wins? Jimmy Hyams.
Well, first off, I'm going to change my email address. Secondly, since I picked 8, I'm going to go 7. Because mathematically, isn't that closer?
Yeah, there you go.
Than 10. So, yeah, I would have to go 7 based on my prediction of 8.
Okay, well, give me more of a reason as to why you picked 8 then. I don't want the reason to be because I said 8. Give me more about the team. Why do you think they're closer to a 7 or 8 than you are at the other end?
Because of the uncertainty at a lot of positions. To me, in the transfer portal, they've got to find a tight end. They've got to find maybe a couple offensive linemen. They've got to find some defensive backs. Probably need another linebacker, even though Peely's coming back. So there are a lot of gaps with this team, in my opinion, that need to be filled in the portal, or maybe somebody in the recruiting class has to merge. So I think they've got a lot of uncertainty in the roster.
Perfect. Vince, closer to 7 or closer to 10?
Same. I was in the 8 or 9 range, so that same logic is why I go with 7. I think also I would throw wide receiver in that group.
Yes.
That needs
That's
to
right.
get better. I think we still don't know if there's going to be changes to the coaching staff either. I mean, it's that time of year. They've avoided big changes and had that stability. It's been very much a positive. But until I get a better feel for what this unit is going to be like, my guess is with a tougher schedule next year as well, that they might be kind of close to the same range.
I think a lot of this hinges on Nico. That's why I went 7 or 8 last week, so obviously I've got to go 7. But with Nico, there's talk that, well, if he lives up to everything he's cracked up to be. Peyton Manning lived up to be everything he was cracked up to be, but not as a freshman. He got better as the years went on. I think Nico's going to be good. I just don't know how good he's going to be for the first half of the schedule next year. So I'm going to go 7 because I think a freshman quarterback, he'll be a redshirt freshman quarterback. A quarterback who didn't get a lot of experience, I think, is going to struggle some as he starts out. Josh, closer to 7 or closer to 10?
Yeah, right now I would say 7 because this is an 8-4 team that was far off in its 4 losses. So they weren't very close to 10 this year. Nico is the potential for 10 to me. If he is close to what people believe he can be already, then he can help elevate them very quickly, I think, to what they can be. I do like the schedule maybe more than some. Oklahoma on the road is going to be really tough. I think getting Florida at home, where that program has some real questions right now, is a big break for Tennessee. And then Arkansas and Mississippi State coming on, I like. But right now, they have portal questions that need to be answered, offensive line questions, Bob, that I think are really important. And Nico has to prove how good he is before I can say 10.
Right.
What are you doing, Bob?
Is 6 off the table? Here is my thing. I look at this.
You can hear the people with their torches banging on the door.
I look
your
at this
email?
team coming back next year, and we hopefully Nico is the guy, but we still don't know. You've got questions, as everybody else already pointed out, all around the team, and I'm not discounting like going to Arkansas. Arkansas wasn't good this year, but they were a tough out for a lot of teams. Arkansas played teams that beat you fairly handily, a lot tougher than you did. I never discount Florida just simply for the same Kentucky reason I never count Kentucky. So I look at this team, North Carolina State is going to be a tough game. Everybody, Mississippi State doesn't have the talent. How do we know? So I just look at this team as being starting at 7, and let's see where you go from there.
Well, here's the thing. I think Nico's going to be really good, but you still need to find a supporting cast for him.
Yeah, you gotta
which
have
includes the
receivers.
offensive line and it includes another receiver.
You need a playmaker receiver. You didn't have that this year.
That's right. So that helps him. But I do think he's going to be good, but his production could be mitigated if you don't surround him with the right cast.
Yeah, and the trick is I just don't expect him to come in. Again, Peyton Manning got booed midway through his freshman season. People would rather see Brandon Stewart. He turned out to be the greatest Tennessee ever had. So I'm not saying that you can't count on Nico to be great. I'm just saying I don't expect, if Peyton Manning wasn't great right out of the chute, I have a hard time saying anybody's going to be great right out of the chute. But he's the question mark. If they do get to 10, it's going to be because he is so transformative for the program that he carries you
What
quickly.
I want to see next year, be better in November than you were in September. And I'm not necessarily talking about
Because they
record.
remember what you
Yeah,
did.
exactly. Just be better. If you're improving along the way and your record's not that great, fine. Then we'll move on to 2025.
All right, very good. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about the bowl setup. Every year, you're sitting there thinking, okay, it's Tennessee. We did it last week. Charlotte, Nashville, Tampa, and now they got Orlando in a break. But it's usually the same cities with the tie-ins, same opponents due to the tie-ins. Why do you get your tie-ins out of it? Let's talk about better bowl systems next. Come on back on the Sports Source.